I'm Judah, you not American. We beating them by a lot. Stop the confusion, we about to bury it. The end is coming and time is still running, but these people do not believe.
Show me, Father, and show the people today, Father.
They trading their soul for little to nothing. Tell me if you even need it.
Who the Holy Spirit is.
What about feeding the needy? Father, Son, and Spirit, I rely on them. Hey, I ain't trying to look stupid when the Messiah come. I'm the boss of my flesh, so my always I don't fight them. They strong, but they can't fight with them. Like a lioness to Leviathan. What you stop? Son of David cut their head off with Goliath them. God love us, stop fighting them. Keep them on top like a diadem. No other God as high as him. If they was, then I would admire them. But they not, so y'all trying them. Stop playing with them while he lining them. We approaching the ending. You should befriend them. What are you thinking? If you keep on sinning, when your life is finished, what is your sentence? First you offend them, now the Most High is against you, all in an instance. Do not misrepresent them. Most of these people be fake, they do it for instant. If you got sin, let it go. Ain't no more excuses from within, now you know.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you got sin, let it go. He said there's nobody higher. There is no other deity higher than the Most High YAHAWAH. So let's give him all praises be to the Most High YAHAWAH and his only begotten Son, our brother, our friend, Hamashiach Yahawashi, who has sent into the world to save his people. Shalawam to all the ox out there, the Ahchwaths. Please, if you have tapped in, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share, please, so we can continue to edify one another as our brothers and sisters do the work for the Most High and his only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Okay, but in the Hebrew, it is Yahawashi Hamashiach. So, as always, I like to start off with Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs. I'm going to be in Proverbs chapter 3. This is 3 words of wisdom. We must keep these things because it is wisdom. It says, my son, forget not my law, but let thy heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them upon thy neck, write them upon the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of the Most High and man. Verse 5, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. Okay, depart from evil. So the lesson today will be about putting a difference and how the Most High put a difference between everything he did. So I'm going to jump all the way back to Genesis chapter 2, the creation of man. We're going to jump down to verse 15. And it says in verse 15, and Yahawah, Elohim, took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to do work and to take care of it. So Adam was put in the garden to do work and to take care of it, to guard it, right? And Yahweh Elohim gave the man orders, saying, you may freely take of the fruit of every tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you may not take, for on that day when you take of it, death will certainly come to you. So he put a difference. I don't know if some of you realize that it was other people in the garden, but whatever your doctrine is or whatever it is that you believe, he gave him instructions. And he told him, do not eat or take from this tree that is in the garden, which is the tree of knowledge. And everything else you could do. So he put a difference right then and there between that tree, the tree of knowledge, and every other tree that was in the garden. And that's all the way back from Genesis 2, where he starts to put a difference in things, right? All the way back in Genesis 2. Now, Adam was put in the Garden of Eden, it says, to do work and to take care of it. So he was in there to guard it, right? Somebody might say, well, it says to take care of it. It doesn't say to guard it. So let's see what that means. It says to keep, guard, observe, give heed, right? To keep, have charge. To keep, guard, keep watch, protect, save life. He was a what? A watchman. Adam was on watch, right? Who was he on watch for? Well, it was somebody he was guarding it from. To be one's guard, to take heed, to take care, right? So it was something that he was guarding. Let's see what the definition is down here. A primitive root, probably to hedge about, as with thorns, i.e., which is an example, guard. See? So his job to protect. So Adam's job when he was put in the garden was to work it, cultivate, as we see right here, to work, to serve, to labor, right? To serve, to make oneself a servant. So he was put in there for a particular reason. And this is why the Most High told him, don't be like everybody else and deal with this tree of knowledge. I put you here to be different, to what? Guard it. Not only to work it, but to guard it and protect it. Right? Who was he protecting it from? This evil thing right here. Genesis chapter 3. He comes along the very next chapter. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which YAHAWAH had made. And he said to the woman, have Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden. So who is Adam supposed to be guarding from, protecting, this evil serpent, this evilness that's in the world. Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. So she knew what the Most High has said, how he put a difference in the other trees of the garden. Because in verse 3 she says, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And here go the serpent, the evil one, the liar from the beginning. Genesis chapter 3, verse 4, he says, and the serpent said unto the woman, you or ye shall not surely die. For Elohim doeth know it, in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as Elohims, knowing good and evil. So she knew the information that the Most High had relayed to Adam, because Adam related to her. But see, Adam was supposed to be there to protect her even when she had took from the tree of knowledge, whatever it is that she did, when she accepted it into her, when she brought it to him or when she gave it to him, he should have did one of those WWE, WWF, one of them elbows or something, and told her, Satan, get behind me, like our brother Hamashiach did when Peter came. And he said, Satan, get behind me. When she came and she said, hey, I got this tree of knowledge. Hey, I got this fruit. Hey, I got this. He should have said, oh, you get, and basically gave her an elbow and said, get away from me, Satan. Right? But no, he took it and he ate it. So the difference that was put there, he accepted it. And he shouldn't have accepted it because it had been a difference put between those trees and the tree of knowledge. Ever since the beginning of Genesis, the Most High has been putting a difference and making a division between things. Let's go all the way back to Genesis 1. Watch. In Genesis 1, in the creation, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the Shemayim and the earth. And the earth was out form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Rakah of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light. And there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim divided the light from what? Darkness. So he's always been putting a difference or dividing between things. From Genesis chapter 1, he divided the light from the darkness. Why? Because they were different. He put a difference between light and darkness. They was not the same. So there's a difference there. He divided it. And Elohim called the night day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. And let it what? Divide the waters from the waters. So if you read this whole chapter, it continuously goes on to divide things, to put a difference between things. And not only with the elements like the day or the light and the darkness, not only the waters, not only the animals, but even us as men and women. He put a division, he divided, and he put a difference between good and evil. That's why you see here in Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, it says, he divided the light from darkness. Well, the light is good, because it said light has came into the world, but man perceived it not. Why? Because their deeds were evil. They love what? Darkness. So there's a separation even right here from Genesis chapter 1, verse 4. There's always going to be a division, something divided or a difference between the Most High and everything, because everything just can't be all put together as this world tells us in a universal way. That's just not how the word, that's just not how he works. Right? Let's go to Genesis 12, Salakia. Even our father Abraham, right? Or Abram. Genesis chapter 12. Now YAHAWAH said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Right? Verse 3, and I will barak them that barak thee, or bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And it says in verse 4, so Abram departed as YAHAWAH had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Now, of course, this is when Abraham left his family and all his kindred. Why did the Most High come to him and tell him to leave his family, to leave his kindred? Well, let me show you. Okay. Well, I'm just showing it to you, but the Bible is going to tell us. Okay. The Bible is going to tell us. So, this is Joshua chapter 24, verse 1. Okay? And it says, and Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for the heads of their judges, and for the officers. And they presented themselves before the Most High. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus saith YAHAWAH, the power of Israel. Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old times, even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor. And they served other Elohims. So this is why the Most High put a difference between Abraham and his father. This is why he told him in Genesis 12 to leave his father's house, leave his kindred. Why? Because they were serving other deities. They were serving other Elohims, or if you see it right here in the English, other gods. They were pagan worshipers. So this is why Abraham had to leave from his family, because they were pagan worshipers. So the Most High had to put a difference or a division between who? Abraham and his father. Matter of fact, not only his father, but all of his family. Because he said you have to leave your kindred, right? That's in Joshua 24:2. To know that Abraham's father was serving other deities, other gods. It's always been like that, where the Most High Yahawah is putting a difference or a division between people. He's getting the people that he wants for himself, and then he's casting the other ones for, of course, Hasatan. So there is a difference, whether you like it or not, throughout the whole Bible. There is a difference. He puts division between good and evil. Let's go here. Exodus chapter 11. The last plague, right? Exodus, I won't read this whole thing, but I'll jump down to verse 4. Exodus 11:4. And it says, and Moses said, thus saith Yahawah, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, or in the Hebrew, Mizraim, shall die. From the firstborn of the Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn beast. So not only the male childs, but even the beast, firstborn childs, would die or would be massacred this night. Because the Most High said he's going to go out about midnight in the midst of Egypt. Verse 6. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. Why were they crying? Because their firstborn children or firstborn sons were massacred, were slaughtered. They died. Through what? The power of the Most High. Verse 7 says, but against any of the children of who? Israel, shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast. So even the Israelites' beast, if they had a dog, wouldn't even move his tongue against any Israelite that night, because something was going on. The Most High was putting a difference between Israel and who? The Egyptians. For it says right here, that ye may know how that Yahawah do what? Put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Matter of fact, let me highlight that whole thing so you can get that and see that. I'm going to read that one more time. That ye may know how that Yahawah doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So as we can clearly see, once again in the Bible, Exodus chapter 11:7, he's putting a difference between who? His people, his children, his son, which is the light of the world, and the Egyptians. He clearly says that from his own words. So there's always going to be a difference. You can't be like the rest of the world. If you are going to be like the rest of the world, then you are going to live in darkness. And you're going to be a part of darkness. Okay? Light cannot be with darkness. It does not work both ways. Light always shines brighter, and it what? Knocks darkness out the way. But we'll get into that. Okay? Let's jump over to Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 10. Once again, notice we all in the Torah. Leviticus chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 8. And Yahawah spake unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine, nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. Leviticus 10 and 10. And that you may put a difference between holy, Kodash, or unholy, and between unclean and clean. So we have to put a difference between what is holy, what is righteous, what is light, and unholy, which is unrighteousness, which is darkness, which is wicked, which is evil. And between unclean, which is still an abomination to the Most High, anything that's unclean is wicked, is defiled, and everything that is clean, which is something that's right, it's something that the Most High has given us that we can do, because these things are clean for us. And it says in verse 11, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahawah have spoken unto them by the hands of Moses. So we have to teach the children of Israel all the law, statute, and commandments that Moses has spoken to the people. Okay, let's jump over to Deuteronomy. Like I say, all throughout the Bible, there is a division. There is a difference. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy or Kodash people unto Yahawah thy Allah, or thy power. Yahawah thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So once again, he has put a difference between Israel, his chosen people, and all other people that are upon the face of the earth. There is a division. There is a difference. Verse 7, Yahawah did not set his love upon you, nor chose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people, but because Yahawah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he swore unto your fathers, have Yahawah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondman, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Now therefore, that Yahawah thy power, he is the power, the faithful power, or the faithful Allah, which keepeth the covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to his face. So if you hate the Most High Yahawah, he's going to repay you to your face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to them. All praises be to the Most High Yahawah for that. The chosen people. There is a difference. There is a division. That's Deuteronomy 7 and 6 on down to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 11. I know what somebody's going to say. Oh, that's all Old Testament. That's all in the law. Let's go to the New Testament. Matthew chapter 5. Let's go to the New Testament. I don't have no problem with that. Let's go right to the meat of it. Let's go right to the meat of it. Once again, Matthew 5 and 13. He says right here, he's talking to his disciples, right? Disciples of the world. He's talking to his 12 disciples. And it says, you are the salt of the earth. But if its taste goes from the salt, how will you make it salt again? It is then good for nothing but to be put out and crushed under by foot or by man. You are the light of the world. A town put on a hill may be seen by all, and a burning light is not put under a vessel, but on its table, so that its rays may be shining on all who are in the house. Who is in the house? Well, if you go into the Hebrew, that house is the second letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which is called Ba, right? The B, which refers to a house, and then it's somebody inside the house. This is why YAHAWAH said he is the door. He is the door to what? That house. All that come in will what? Find green pasture, right? And you will be able to go in and out. So this is why he is the door, because he is the house, right? This is why he said he goes to build something for you to reside in. Verse 16, even so let your light be shining before man, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5 and verse 17. Let there be no thought that I have come to put an end to the law. So for all you Christians out there, all you believers that think that the law is done away with, Matthew chapter 5 verse 17 clearly states, here's the difference of a Christian and a true believer of Hamashiach, which is Christ. Here's the difference. Christ out his own mouth said, let there be no thought. So you shouldn't even think this. It shouldn't be a thought in your head that I have come to put an end to the law or the prophets. I have not come for destruction, but to make complete. Truly I say to you, till heaven and earth come to an end. And we both know heaven and earth has not come to an end yet, because I'm on earth right now making this video. So it hasn't came to an end. So we still have to continue keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what Christ said out of his own mouth. Not the smallest letter or part of the letter will in any way be taken from the law, till all things be done. And we know all things, if you read the Bible, all things have not been done. Whoever then goes against the smallest of these laws. So if you break the smallest of the law, talking about you can eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, you don't have to keep the Sabbath day, right? You're not honoring your father, your mother, right? You stealing, you killing, you murdering, right? You're coveting, you're committing adultery. You're not wearing the things you're supposed to wear. You're wearing mixed fabrics. Women wearing things that they're not supposed to wear, wearing pants, not keeping their head covered. If you're not keeping the smallest of these laws and teaching men to do the same, will be named least in the kingdom of heaven. But he who keeps the laws, teaching others to keep them, if you teaching others to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, Christ out his own mouth, Hamashiach YAHAWAH said, will be named great. If you teaching people to keep the law, He says you will be named great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, if your righteousness is not greater than the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never go into the kingdom of heaven. So he put a difference between, as we would call it today, the so-called Christian and a true believer in his word. Because a Christian says you don't have to keep the law and the law is done away with. But Christ, out of his own mouth, said in verse 17, let there be no thought that I have come to put an end to the law or the prophets. So who am I going to believe? The church, them pastors, or am I going to believe Hamashiach Yahawashi, Christ? I'm going to believe Christ because this is what he said. And then he goes on to tell, if any man teaches that you shouldn't keep the law, that he will be the least in the kingdom. I don't know what you will be in the kingdom, but I don't want to be that. That's for sure. When all you have to do is teach man to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, the royal law, and it says you will be named great in the kingdom. So there's always a division, a difference. Matthew chapter 10. Let's go down here. Matthew 10. And I'm going to jump down to verse, the classic, 34. Right here. Do not have the thought that I have come. This is Christ again. Matthew 10 and 34. He says, do not have the thought that I have come to send peace on the earth. That's what everybody says. Everybody says, why can't we just all get along? Why we just can't all love together? Why we just can't have peace on the earth? Well, Christ said, do not have the thought that I have come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So this is why you can't have peace. This is why we all can't just get along, because Christ didn't come to bring that. He came to bring the sword. For I have come to put a man against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. What is this? He came to bring separation, a difference, division, Salakia. He's dividing things. He's dividing the man and his father. He is dividing the daughter and her mother. He is dividing the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, meaning that they will not get along, because the daughter is not going to serve the Most High and the mother is going to serve the Most High. The father may not be serving the Most High, but the son may be serving the Most High. This is why it says in verse 36, and a man will be hated by those of his house. Why does the Bible say a man will be hated by those of his house? Because he will be hated because he is sticking to the law, the statute, and the commandments. So because those other people in his house are not keeping the law, statute, and commandments, they are not loving the Most High Yahweh, they have not laid down their life for Hamashiach Yahawashi, they hate that the Father is keeping the law, statute, and commandments. They hate it. That's what the Bible says. It says, and a man will be hated by those of his house. Verse 37, he who has more love for his father or mother than for me is not good enough for me. He who has more love for their son or daughter than for me is not good enough for me. This is what Christ said. So if you love your father, if you love your mother more than you love Hamashiach Yahawashi, if you love your son or daughter more than you love Hamashiach Yahawashi, he said that you're not good enough for him. Right? You're not good enough for him. You got some people who are father or mother and then a child is a homosexual, right? blonde hair, all this makeup and foolishness on, talking about they dating a boy or talking about they dating another girl. And then they say, well, that's my child. I love them. No, you love them more than you love the Most High. You love them more than you love the Most High. That's why he said that you're not good enough for him. See, when a person does that, they have put a difference between you and them. They have separated themselves. You must sever all ties. You must cut them off. You can't be with darkness and light together. When people are living like that, they are in darkness. And if you are walking in light, you have to separate yourself. And this is why he said, if you love them more than you love me, then what? You're not even enough for me. Verse 38. And he who does not take his cross and come after me is not good enough for me. So if you don't take your cross up and you don't put your own work in, then he says you're not good enough for me. These is the words of Hamashiach. These are the words of the anointed one, the smeared one. The reason why we call him Christ, right? Matthew 10 and 39. He who has the desire to keep his life, this is very important, and I hope you guys are listening to this one. He who has the desire to keep his life will have it taken from him. Somebody say, well, how is my life going to be taken? How foolish are you? Don't you know that your life is in the hands of the Most High? That's his spirit that's living inside of you. And when he wants to take his spirit back, he takes it at any time he wants. And he who gives up his life because of me, meaning if you give your life to Christ and you walk with him, he says, will have it again back to him. Meaning he will give you your life back in abundance and more. But you got to be willing to lay down your life just like he was willing to lay down his life for you. But see, the difference is that he wasn't selfish and you are. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we are very, very, very selfish individuals, vain individuals, haughty individuals, high-minded individuals, stiff-necked individuals, stubborn individuals. But we know that you're sick. Why? Because you're in darkness. And you will never understand until you come to the light. Well, you can't even come to the light. It's if you called to come to the light through the Father. Not everybody is called. This is why he says, many are called, but few are truly chosen. That's 22 and 14. Let's go to 1 John. 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2, verse 1. My little children, these things I write unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, YAHAWAH, HaMashiach, the righteous. And he is the propitiation for our sins. And not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep what? His commandments. So if you keep his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, this is how we know as a people, as a fellow follower of Hamashiach Yahawashi, this is how we can determine if you really are walking with Christ, if you keep his commandments. Somebody might say, well, we don't have to do all that. Well, verse 4 says, he that saith, I know him, meaning you say you know Christ, and keep not his commandments. Let me highlight that. And keep not his commandments is a liar. That's what the Bible calls you. The one who does not keep his commandments. The one who's still eating on pork. The one who's still eating crab, shrimp, lobster. The woman still walking around with pants on and her head not covered and wigs on and makeup on and her fingernails painted and all of this foolishness from the devil. They are a liar. Somebody might say, well, it don't say all that in the Bible. Well, Jezebel had her face painted and she killed a lot of our prophets. And actually, she put it on to what? Entice the prophets. And I know you're going to say, well, they went for it. Well, that's the lure of a woman. This is why the Bible says, do not look at the beauty of a woman, because many have been led astray. And if you say you a follower of Hamashiach or you a follower of Christ, then you would not want to lead your brothers into sin. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get something real quick. Let me see if I get this. James chapter 4, verse 17. It says, the man who, let me blow it up. Salakia. James 4 and 17. The man who has knowledge of how to do good. I know it just says man because the Bible speaks about man. But if you are a man or a woman and you have the knowledge of how to do good, meaning how not to let your brothers go astray or your sisters go astray, man, and does not do it, to him it is sin. So if you know that brothers might be enticed on the way you may dress or the things that you may do, and it may lead those brothers astray to lust after you in some type of way, and you notice in your mind you have the knowledge of it, then it is sin. That is sin. Whether male or female, if you are putting on something and you know that you're putting this on because you want people to lust or look at you or be flattered by your beauty, that is sin. You have to put a difference. What this whole lesson is about. You have to put a difference between clean, unclean, holy, and unholy, light and darkness. You have to put a difference. This is why it says in 1 John 2 and 4, he that saith, I know him and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of Ahchyam perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. So you are supposed to, or you should be, walking as Hamashiach Yahawashi walked. Just as he walked, that's how you're supposed to walk. And we know that Hamashiach Yahawashi was not walking around sinning. Straight up. Romans chapter 9. Everybody love Paul, so we're going to go to Paul. I'm going to start it from the top, verse 1. It's okay. I say the truth in Hamashiach. So this that we're going to read is truth because it's in Hamashiach. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Quadash Rakah, or the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So this is not a spiritual thing. as people like to say. Paul is saying he wished that he can go through this for his people, his brethren, according to the flesh, in the flesh and blood. And then he lets you know who are Israelites. Who is he talking about? Israelites. He's not talking about everybody in the world. Okay? He's not talking about everybody in the world. He's only talking about Israelites. To whom pertaineth the adoption? People say that we're adopted in. Who is adopted in? Because Paul is saying, to whom pertaineth the adoption? Meaning when something pertains to you, it's yours. So the adoption is for who? The Israelites. And the glory. And the covenants, the old and the new covenant. The old and the new covenant is for who? The Israelites. And the giving of the law, who did he give the law to? Israelites. And the service of the Most High, who had the service of the Most High? Israelites, the Levitical priests. And the promises, who had the promises? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Whose are the fathers? Who was the fathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach or Christ came. Why did Christ come? He came for the fathers who concerning in the flesh. What flesh? Israelite. As Paul just said right here, according to what? The flesh. Who are Israelites. This is why Christ came for who? Israelites. Verse 5. Who is over all? Who is over all? The Most High, blessed forever. So be it. Verse 6. Not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel. See? Which are Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham, are they the children. So just because you come out of Abraham, don't mean you the children of Israel. It says, but in who? Isaac shall thy seed be called. So only if you come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are you the children. And we know Abraham had other kids with other women, so those are not the children. I'm not going to say, I'm going to let the Bible say it. That is Romans 9 and 8, Salakia. They which are the children of the flesh, right? They which are the children of the flesh, when he slept with Hagar and he had Ishmael, that's the children of the flesh. When he slept with Keturah and he had all of those other children, those are children of the flesh. These are not the children of the Most High. Let me highlight that so you can see that. That's Romans 9 and 8. He says, these are not the children of the Most High. Or you could say it, God. You can see it right there. He put a difference between the children of the flesh and the children of the Most High. There's clearly a difference here. He put a difference, a division. He divided something. That's why this whole lesson has been about what? Putting a difference between what is clean and unclean, what is holy and unholy, what is light and what is darkness. It says that is they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of the promise. So now he's going to elaborate to let us know the children of the promise. This is the children. These will be the children of the promise. For this is the word of the promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Who? Sarah or Sarai shall have a son. And she had a son, and his name was called what? Isaac. So that is who the promise goes to. That other child, Ishmael, he is a child of the flesh, and he is not, or they, because he had other kids, they are not the children of the Most High. He put a difference. Even in verse 10, 9 and 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father who? Isaac. This is why he's called our father, Isaac. Who are the fathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. That's why they are considered our fathers, because they are from what? The promises. The promises was given to them. Verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. They hadn't done any good or evil yet, so you can't say, oh, well, it's what they did. No, they had not done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to what? Election. According to his election. Why? Because he put a difference. Not of works, but of him that calleth. Who calleth? The Most High Yahawah. It is said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written. As it is written. Let me blow that up even more, because I want people to see this as I close out. That the Most High Yahawah put a difference between everything he did and everything he does. He puts a difference, division. Romans 9 and 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And for those naysayers, they say, oh, well, I don't agree with that. That's not my God. Well, for those naysayers, Romans 9 and 14, it says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Paul says, God forbid. So who are you going with? Because he did it. And you as a human being, are you saying that the Most High Yahawah has unrighteousness in him? Who am I going to believe? You or the Most High? For the Bible says, put your trust in the Most High Yahawah, and you shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water. I'm going to put my trust in the Most High Yahawah. Just as he did, we must put a difference between what is good and what is evil, what is light, what is darkness, what is holy, what is unholy, and what is clean and what is unclean. And with that, hopefully this was edifying, that you can see we must put a difference between the children of the Most High and the children of their father, the devil. He has been a liar since the beginning. With that, I'm going to close out, giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahawah. I say, Kwam Yasharallah, Shalawam. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment. And with that, I say, Shalawam.